Mount Parnassus is a mountain of limestone in central Greece that towers above Delphi, north of the Gulf of Corinth, and offers scenic views of the surrounding olive groves and countryside. According to Greek mythology, this mountain was sacred to Dionysus and the Dionysian mysteries. It was also sacred to Apollo and the Corician nymphs, and it was the home of the Muses. The mountain was also favored by the Dorians. There is a theory that Parna derived from the same root as the word in Luwian meaning house. Geology and geography. Parnassus is one of the largest mountainous regions of mainland Greece and one of the highest Greek mountains. It spreads over 3 municipalities, namely of Boeotia, Thetis and Phocis, where lies its largest part. Its altitude is 2,547 meters and its highest peak is Lycaris. To the northeast it is connected to Giana and to the south with Curfa. Its name is due to the homonymous hero of the Greek mythology, son of Cleopumpus, or Poseidon, and Cleodoro, who had built on the mountain a city which was destroyed in the deluge of Deucalion. Etymological analysis, however, shows a pre-Hellenic origin of the name and alludes to the Pelasgians. The mountain is delimited to the east by the valley of the Boeotian Cephissus and to the west by the valley of Amphissa. The geological particularity of Parnassus is its rich deposits of bauxite, which has led to their systematic mining since the end of the 1930s, resulting in ecological damage to part of the mountain. Mythology. Mount Parnassus is named after Parnassus, the son of the nymph Cleodora and the man Cleopumpus. A city, of which Parnassus was leader, was flooded by torrential rains. The citizens ran from the flood, following wolves howling, up the mountain slope. There the survivors built another city, and called it Lycaro, which in Greek means the howling of the wolves. While Orpheus was living with his mother and his 8 beautiful aunts on Parnassus, he met Apollo who was courting the laughing muse Thalia. Apollo became fond of Orpheus and gave him a little golden lyre, and taught him to play it. Orpheus's mother taught him to make verses for singing. As the oracle of Delphi was sacred to the god Apollo, so did the mountain itself become associated with Apollo. According to some traditions, Parnassus was the site of the fountain Castalia and the home of the Muses. According to other traditions, that honor fell to Mount Helicon, another mountain in the same range. As the home of the Muses, Parnassus became known as the home of poetry, music, and learning. Parnassus was also the site of several unrelated minor events in Greek mythology. In some versions of the Greek flood myth, the Ark of Deucalion comes to rest on the slopes of Parnassus. This is the version of the myth recounted in Ovid's Metamorphoses. Orestes spent his time in hiding on Mount Parnassus. Parnassus was sacred to the god Dionysus. The Corician cave, located on the slopes of Parnassus, was sacred to Pan and to the Muses. In Book 19 of the Odyssey, Odysseus recounts a story of how he was gored in the thigh during a boar hunt on Mount Parnassus in his youth. Parnassus was also the home of Pegasus, the winged horse of Bellerophon. Parnassus as metaphor. This relation of the mountain to the Muses offered an instigation to its more recent mystification, with the poetic artistic trend of the 19th century called Parnassism. The Parnassic movement was established in France in the decade 1866 to 1876 as a reaction to Romanticism with a return to some classicistic elements and belief in the doctrine art for the art, first expressed by Théophile Gautier. The periodical Modern Parnassus issued for the first time by Quetzal Mendez and Xavier Ricard contained direct references to Mount Parnassus and its mythological feature as habitation of the Muses. The Parnassists, who didn't exceed a group of 20 poets, exercised a relatively strong influence on the cultural life of Paris, particularly due to their tenacity on perfection of rhyme and vocabulary. Parnassism influenced several French poets, such as Baudelaire, but it also exercised an influence to modern Greek poets, particularly to Kostas Palamas and Gypris. The name of the mountain, Montana Parnassus, was also given to a quarter of Paris on the left bank of the Seine, where artists and poets used to gather and recite their poems in public. Montparnasse is nowadays one of the most renowned quarters of the city, and in its cemetery many personalities of the arts and culture are buried. The national park, the significant biodiversity, both in flora and in fauna, led the authorities to the establishment of the National Park of Parnassus in 1938, the year when the systematic mining of bauxite started. The park comprises a landscape of 36,000 acres, 14,569 hectares, spreading on the mountainous region between Delphi, Arakova and Agoriani. Among the endemic flora species under protection are the Cephalonian fir tree and the Parnassian peony, Paeonia parnassica. In the park sojourn prey birds and wolves, boars, badgers and weasels. Parnassus Ski Resort. The slopes of Mount Parnassus are composed of two ski sections, Keleria and Phtalakia, which together make up the largest ski center in Greece. A smaller ski center, only two drag lifts, called Gerontovrahos, is across a ridge from Keleria. Parnassus is mined for its abundant supply of bauxite, which is converted to aluminium oxide and then to aluminium. The construction of the ski resort started in 1975 and was completed in 1976, when the first two drag lifts operated in Phtalakia. In 1981 the construction of a new ski area was completed in Keleria, while in winter season 1987 to 1988 the chairlift Hermes started operating and connected the two ski areas. Both ski resorts continued expanding, and in 1993 the first high-speed quad in Greece was installed, named Hercules. In 2014 to 2015 two new hybrid lifts were installed along with a new 8-seater, replacing the old infrastructure. Today the ski center operates with 16 lifts, two hybrid ski lifts which combine an 8-seater cabin and a 6-seater chair, an 8-seater cabin, a 4-seater chairlift, a 2-seater chairlift, 6 drag lifts and 4 baby lifts. The ski center boasts 25 marked ski runs and about 15 ski routes of 36 kilometers, 22 miles, total length, while the longest run is 4 kilometers, 2 miles.